It's June 5th, 2023. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is a short timeline of the Donald Trump classified documents story. January 18th, 2021. Trump's presidency ends in 2 days. Boxes containing documents are moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago in Florida. May 6th, 2021. National Archives request. The National Archives requests missing presidential records, and it continues to make these requests until approximately late December 2021. From now on, I'm just going to call the National Archives and Records Administration NARA. Late December 2021, NARA is informed that 12 boxes were found and ready for retrieval at Mar-a-Lago, according to the Department of Justice's affidavit requesting a warrant to search Mar-a-Lago. NARA begins to arrange for the documents to be securely transported from Florida to Washington, D.C. January 18, 2022, NARA receives 15 boxes of records from Trump that had been taken to Florida. They include, quote, highly classified documents intermingled with other records. January 31st, NARA reports that many of the documents are ripped and torn. February 7th, NARA issues a statement. More documents are still missing. February 9th, 2022, NARA asks the Department of Justice for help. The special agent in charge of NARA's Office of the Inspector General refers the matter to the Department of Justice. February 18th, 2022, keeping Congress in the loop. NARA tells the Congressional Oversight Committee about the missing, highly classified documents that they've recovered so far, but they are still missing quite a few more. When Trump hears this, he issues a statement basically saying that these are his records, they are connected to his legacy, and he kept them because he could, because of the Presidential Records Act. April 11th, 2022. The FBI wants access to the documents because they're asking, what did the documents contain? DOJ wants to examine the 15 documents taken from Mar-a-Lago so far. April 12th, 2022, Trump is notified. NARA tells Trump the FBI is going to review those documents. April 29th, the Department of Justice's National Security Division sends a letter to Evan Corcoran, an attorney for Trump. DOJ says access to the documents taken from Mar-a-Lago is necessary for purposes of our ongoing criminal investigation. Those documents consist of 11 total documents with 700 pages, and some of them are of the highest levels of classification, including Special Access Program materials, also called SAP materials. May 1st, 2022, Corcoran asks NARA to delay the FBI review. May 10th, no executive privilege, no delay. NARA says, quote, the question of executive privilege in this case is not even close. May 11th, 2022, the Justice Department subpoenas Trump, seeking documents with classification markings that are still missing and still, they assume, at Mar-a-Lago. Trump directs his staff to search for the remaining missing classified material to comply with that subpoena. Now, sometime in May, a DOJ attorney sends a letter to Trump's lawyer asking for a sworn statement from a Trump representative that any documents provided in response to the subpoena represent all responsive records. December 2nd, Trump invites FBI officials to come to Mar-a-Lago to retrieve the subpoenaed material. June 3rd, 4 investigators, including a top Justice Department counterintelligence official, visit Mar-a-Lago, seeking more information about classified material that had been taken to Florida. June 8th, Trump's lawyer receives a letter from federal investigators asking them to please further secure the room where documents are being stored. In response, Trump aides add a padlock to the room in the basement. Federal investigators serve a subpoena to the Trump Organization, demanding surveillance video from Mar-a-Lago. Trump's company complies with the subpoena and turns over the footage. At some point in June, a Trump lawyer sends a letter to the Justice Department. Now we know that letter inaccurately asserts that there aren't any more classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. August 8th. For the first time in American history, a former president's home is searched as part of a criminal investigation. The FBI executes a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, a major escalation of the classified documents investigation. August 11th. Trump sends a message through one of his lawyers to Attorney General Merrick Garland saying he has, quote, been hearing from people all over the country about the raid. These people are, quote, angry, and that, quote, whatever I can do to take the heat down, to bring the pressure down, just let us know. Later, A.G. Garland says he personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant and that the Justice Department will continue to apply the rule of law without fear or favor. August 12th, 2022, federal magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhardt approves the unsealing of the Mar-a-Lago search warrant and its property receipt. This was a Justice Department request, and Trump's lawyers agreed to the release. The warrant reveals, we first learned this, that the Justice Department is looking into possible violations of the Espionage Act, obstruction of justice, and criminal handling of government records as part of its investigation. August 22nd, 2022, Trump files a federal lawsuit seeking the appointment of a third-party program known as the Special Master to independently review the materials that the FBI seized. August 27th, federal district judge Aileen Cannon, a Trump appointee who is presiding over Trump's civil lawsuit, announces her preliminary intent to appoint a special master to examine the seized Mar-a-Lago materials. September 5th, in a major ruling, Cannon grants Trump's request for a special master to review the seized documents from Florida. September 8th, the Justice Department appeals Cannon's decision in the special master case. September 15th, Cannon goes ahead and appoints senior judge Raymond Dearie to serve as the special master and sets a November 30th deadline for the Brooklyn-based federal judge to review all of the seized materials. September 21st, a 3-judge appeals court panel unanimously agrees to give Justice Department investigators access to the documents seized at Mar-a-Lago. The appeals court basically overrules all of Judge Cannon's decision. October 4th, Trump files an application with the United States Supreme Court to partially vacate that 11th Circuit Court ruling. You love this. October 13th, the Supreme Court issues a one-sentence, unsigned ruling denying Trump's application for the High Court to partially vacate the 11th Circuit Court rulings. Trump lost in the Supreme Court. October 14th, The Justice Department then files an appeal with the 11th Circuit seeking to reverse Cannon's order and end all of the special master's review. Just end everything. November 15th. You all know what that is? Trump announces he will run for president in 2024. November 18th. Attorney General Merrick Garland appoints Jack Smith, a former Justice Department prosecutor, as special counsel to oversee the investigation of Trump's handling of highly classified documents and to handle the investigation into the January 6th insurrection and attempts to unlawfully interfere with the peaceful transfer of power. December 1st. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit overturns a lower court ruling that granted Trump's request for a special master. Bye-bye. No more special master. December 7th. The Washington Post reports that an outside team hired by Trump's lawyers found at least 2 items marked classified in a Florida storage unit belonging to the former president. The items were turned over to the FBI. February 10th, 2023, ABC News reports that Trump's legal team turned over to federal investigators one document that had classified markings as well as a laptop belonging to a Trump aide and an empty folder that once contained classified documents. So see, as late as February 10th, 2023, we're still getting additional documents. March 2023, appellate judges rule that there is enough evidence to set aside attorney-client privilege. This means that Evan Corcoran must comply with a federal grand jury subpoena to testify before the grand jury. Even though Trump and Corcoran should have attorney-client privilege, the ruling uses the crime fraud exception, which sets aside privilege. And that can only happen if there is evidence that a client is lying or committed a crime or fraud. Friday, March 24th, Trump's attorney, Evan Corcoran, testifies before a federal grand jury. He has notes and recordings. April 2nd, this is from the Washington Post. Using Mar-a-Lago staff emails and texts and closed-circuit camera video, federal investigators, according to the Washington Post, have evidence showing Trump told others to mislead government officials who were trying for months to get the classified documents returned. May 22nd, New York Times. The Trump Organization is ordered to hand over records related to foreign real estate deals made since Donald Trump entered the White House, as the investigation into the former president's handling of classified documents heats up. 2 sources tell the New York Times that Special Counsel Jack Smith's office has subpoenaed the business empire for records on real estate licensing and development dealings made in 7 countries since he was sworn into office. May 25th, Trump workers at Mar-a-Lago moved boxes a day before Justice Department came for documents. That is a blaring, blazing headline in one of the newspapers and on CNN. So it says, new details include alleged dress rehearsals for moving sensitive papers, shows a focus on Donald Trump's instructions and intent. May 28th, attorneys John Rowley and James Trusty write to Garland, seeking a meeting at the Attorney General's earliest convenience. June 4th, the federal grand jury in the Department of Justice probe is scheduled to meet this week. NBC News, citing unidentified sources, reported that the grand jury will meet in Washington, D.C., though it is unclear whether prosecutors are ready to seek a possible indictment. And finally, today, Monday, June 5th, this. Lawyers for former President Donald Trump met on Monday at the Justice Department with officials, including Special Counsel Jack Smith. This happened 2 weeks after requesting that meeting to discuss their concerns with Mr. Smith's investigation into Trump. According to two people familiar with the matter, and the lawyers met with Jack Smith, they asked to meet with the Attorney General, and the Attorney General didn't do it. He allegedly was not there. I'm Gloria Moraga. I'm a political woman. I am hoping this helps.